Trail cameras are often set up in the most remote corners of the world where nobody is ever supposed to go in nature. People install them to watch for the calm, peaceful parts of nature, but sometimes end up catching things that nobody was supposed to find. Out in the woods, there are things that human beings have never been able to comprehend, and things captured by these cameras just prove that. From an eagle beating up a coyote to Bigfoot being spotted on camera.
All I wanted to know, what is the truth? What is in this picture?
Out of the 3 photographs taken less than 2 minutes apart from one another, in that little photograph, that large figure is there.
Trail cams have really provided tons of unique footage. Make sure to stick around until the end. You won't want to miss Hank the Tank. Here are 15 times that trail cameras captured what no one was supposed to see.
A story trending on the 7 News app this weekend: surveillance cameras in Mississippi capturing what looks for all the world like a UFO. See the deer appear, and then a dim light appears, and then it gets brighter.
Number 15, UFO attempts to abduct deer. We've all heard about aliens abducting humans, but what about abducting deer? That's what seemed to be the case when homeowners from Mississippi reviewed the footage from a trail camera placed on their property.
Well, now, whether it's alien, I'm not sure about that, but it's definitely is UFO. Now, whether it's a government drone or what.
The photos show what seems to be strange lights in the sky above the unsuspecting herd. Observing them from above, these lights hover above the couple's field for several hours, leaving and coming back to continue its observation, making for a series of very unusual pictures when looked at the following day. But what could be the source of these lights? Is it really a UFO? The cameras present on the property are infrared cameras, which do not emit light.
And the deer just lights up brightly. But these cameras are infrared, they don't emit light.
Cast in complete darkness, however, anything that produces heat will show up on an infrared camera. The real question lies in what the lights are: government drones, an alien ship, or something far more sinister? And what would they want with an innocent herd of deer? Unfortunately, that is a question that we may never truly get the answer to.
Take a look at this video and you can actually see a male bobcat going after python eggs.
We have another hunter out there.
Number 14, bobcat finds and eats snake eggs. Your run-of-the-mill house cat might be known to steal some chicken or scrambled eggs from your plate, but what about the diet of their wild counterparts? Scientists were baffled when footage on a trail cam showed a bobcat in the Big Cypress National Preserve trying to steal the eggs from the nest of a massive python.
If the python was not guarding the nest, the bobcat would have been dinner.
The cat retreats while the snake is still guarding its nest, but returns later when it is out to hunt to pilfer the eggs that have now been left undefended.
It was all captured on camera last summer when a U.S. Geological Survey team set up a wildlife cam near a female they had tagged. But they never expected to see this.
But why? Within Florida, pythons are a highly invasive species, and reports of monster-sized snakes have increased in recent years. So why would a bobcat, one of the smallest big cats in the world, decide to pick a fight with a snake that could eat it whole? Researchers are mystified. What is drawing these cats to infiltrate these nests? Is something causing these cats to risk their lives for a shelled snack? Perhaps there is something else out there within the Everglades that is beating these bobcats out for their regular meals. And if so, what could it be?
It's not that Stranger Thing, another one.
Yeah, a photo, actually, and it comes from Amarillo, the zoo in Texas. Some sort of creature.
Number 13, dog-like creature found outside zoo. When you go to the zoo, usually you expect all the animals to be inside the cages. That was not the case for a Texas zoo in Amarillo, which caught what has now been deemed the unidentified Amarillo object by people on social media.
This is asking folks to guess, what is this thing? The image was captured last month.
A strange dog-like creature was spotted on a security camera pointed at the fence line of the zoo, where it stood on 2 legs and peered into the establishment. After posting the photo on social media, the city received thousands of responses from people speculating on what this strange creature could be.
Is it a person with a strange hat who likes to walk at night? City officials asked in a tweet, referring to it as a UAO.
The unidentified Amarillo object.
Was it a person in a costume, the zoo trying to drum up attention, or could it be something unlike anything we've seen before? A werewolf, a cryptid, or perhaps an experiment that the zoo didn't want to get out. The bipedal nature of the creature suggests that maybe, unlike speculation, this isn't just some regular dog or coyote, but something far more strange. Either way, next time you're in Amarillo, maybe you'll be safer inside the zoo than outside of it.
It's the mystery of Ghost Girl. This creepy photo of a girl in the woods is making headlines across the planet.
Number 12, Ghost of the Cambridge Girl. When you're hiking alone in the woods, the last thing you want to come across is something unnatural. But for some unfortunate hikers, that might just be exactly what happens. A picture of what appeared to be the ghost of a little girl was discovered on a trail camera in Cambridge, Washington.
Creepy pic of Ghost Girl freaks out small town, goes one headline. Spirited debate over ghost or girl, says another.
The photo depicts a young girl running through the forest, which isn't strange on its own until you realize that her legs and arms are translucent and her eyes are pitch black. But who is this little girl and why is she out in the woods of Cambridge? This photo has made headlines as people try to make sense of this shocking image. Is this some sort of otherworldly figure, or was it simply a technical error? But if it was a technical error, what was this girl doing in the woods on her own? And where is she now? Perhaps we may never know, but it will be one more thing to avoid when walking in the woods by yourself. Number 11, buck loses its antlers. If you spend much time outdoors, you may know that it's not entirely uncommon to find the shed antlers from deer in the area. Bucks lose their antlers yearly, growing them back for the mating season to fight with other males for the attention of the female. But not many people are around to see them lose their antlers, and others may not know how the process works at all. Justin Hoffman managed to kill 2 birds with 1 stone in 2021 when he captured an extremely rare event on camera. A buck grazing in front of his camera lost both of its antlers in just minutes, shaking its head and having them come off flying into the snow next to him. For many people, seeing a deer shed 1 antler is rare, but 2 at a time is practically unheard of. Many people believe that for a deer to lose its antlers, it has to rub it on something or snap it off, but Justin's video disproves that as you watch both antlers come flying off with a mere shake of its head.
I thought to myself, I wonder what would happen if you left a pile of peanut butter, like a peanut butter mountain, in the middle of the woods.
Number 10, animals come together. There is a fairly interesting community of people on YouTube that have found joy in placing a large dollop of peanut butter in the woods near a trail cam and then watching what sorts of animals come out in order to give it a try.
The deer was definitely curious about the peanut butter and the peanuts, and I think she would have come over and eaten some, but deer are extremely cautious.
These videos often do quite well within their small community, and it truly is interesting seeing what kinds of animals come out in order to sniff out the peanut butter. There have been raccoons, deer, elk, and even bears that have come up and tried to get some of the sweet, nutty goodness.
And then finally takes a bite of the peanut butter, and he doesn't look too pleased. I think it stuck to the roof of his mouth.
This has resulted in other types of foods being left out in the woods as well, from entire dinners to smaller, more exploratory things that people are hoping will elicit some sort of reaction. It's really bizarre to see this many animals come together in such a way because many of them were never supposed to interact like this. Seeing a bear and a deer together eating peanut butter is particularly odd in terms of who gets along with who. Number 9, eagle tries to beat up coyote. We all know that cats and dogs don't get along, but what about dogs and birds? Several strange interactions were captured on trail cameras of flights between coyotes and bald eagles. Scrapping over what appears to be the carcass of a deer, a great brawl ensues as scavenging ravens watch to see who the victor will be. In a place as unforgiving as the wilderness, every meal could mean the difference between life and death for both of these animals. An entire leg of a deer is a meal filling enough to keep them going for days, and seems to be worth the risk for both these animals to gamble their lives for. While it is somewhat unclear who turns out to be the victor, it is extremely rare to capture interactions like this on camera. Fights have a very high cost in the animal kingdom, and it isn't often that you see them occurring between two animals as different as the coyote and an eagle. Maybe next time they'll learn to share. Number 8. Raccoons and bucks make friends? There's a particular odd phenomenon captured by several trail cameras in the wild as of late, which involves bucks and raccoons relaxing in quite close proximity to each other. This is incredibly bizarre considering these two animals almost never interact in nature besides what is seen here. These trail cameras capture a couple of bucks, usually not more than 2 or 3, as well as a gaggle of 10 to 15 raccoons, seemingly chilling near these massive animals. Raccoons are generally quite skittish, and therefore try to stay away from any large animals with the capability of hurting them. The footage here seems to go against any semblance of knowledge of these animals, resulting in something that most scientists are struggling to explain. It hasn't just been observed once. These trail camera captures have been seen and verified multiple times, resulting in an incredibly odd situation where scientists all across the world are baffled. Number 7. Alien lights on the trail? This particular entry isn't specific to only one incident, though the footage you're seeing on screen is definitely the most popular video of the phenomena. Throughout the world, strange lights have been reported on trail cameras left out in the woods without any source of them visible in the footage. Many people believe that this has something to do with extraterrestrial activity.
Look, nothing in the sky at all. Then all of a sudden, bam! What is that?
Considering it would make sense for aliens to come down in locations that are sparsely populated by humans. If that is the case, then these trail photos are some of the most clear and direct evidence supporting the existence of alien life. This is paired with the fact that many of these videos are taken in places where hunting and exploration are heavily controlled, meaning it's very unlikely for people to be out there during the night creating any sort of light. The lights are generally small and vertical, almost like a slit in the space-time continuum. What sort of bizarre technology could create lights like this? Nobody knows for sure.
Scientists were recently stunned and overjoyed to spot an especially rare silverback chevrotrain.
Number 6. Extinct animal back to life? A tiny deer-like creature about the size of a small dog or an average house cat has been photographed in the wild for the first time in over 3 decades in southern Vietnam.
Dozens of extinct species of chevrotain have been described in northern Pakistan, Europe, and Africa,
delighting conservationists who feared the species had gone extinct many years ago. The silver-backed chevrotain, also known as the Vietnamese mouse deer, was last recorded more than 25 years ago when a team of Vietnamese and Russian researchers obtained a dead chevrotain from a hunter. The cameras were actually set up with the exact purpose of capturing one of these elusive animals on film, because the locals told conservationists that they'd seen them roaming around rarely in the woods. Luckily for them, the locals were right, and the creature was seen for the first time in a very long while. The mouse deer is a shy and solitary creature, and they appear to walk on the tips of their hooves and have 2 tiny fangs. They typically weigh less than 10 pounds and are small enough to have gone undetected for so long. Before we go on, like this video, smash that subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. It's time for today's subscriber pick. This strange photograph was taken off of a highway in Peru when a trail camera set up to watch for traffic violations caught this strange creature running through the dirt beside the road. The camera wasn't meant to take high-quality video, so it only caught this single frame, but the creature it depicts is certainly nightmarish. It looks incredibly thin, like it hasn't eaten in a very long time, and is running on all fours. Despite that, it seems almost humanoid in shape, meaning that it could be some sort of alien creature stuck on planet Earth. What sort of creature do you think this is? Do you believe that it's an alien, or perhaps something that was born in a lab on Earth somewhere? Remember to comment down below with the hashtag #subscriberpick and let us know what you think. Now, on to the next topic. Number 5, massive fight between 2 deer. Despite what you may have seen in various media outlets and news reports, fights between 2 animals are actually quite rare, especially within the same species. There are territorial fights and battles for the chance to impress a female, of course, but unprompted fights are actually exceedingly rare because they are quite costly. Energy is hard to come by for many animals, especially deer, whose primary diet consists of plant matter and other such low-energy sources. And yet here in this video, two deer seem to be fighting without any provocation, begging the question as to why this would be happening. It could potentially be a fight over the food in a location, but they seem to be fighting in a fairly barren area without many prospects for a hungry deer. It's impossible to know for sure what is going on, but it's been estimated that perhaps these deer were simply feeling up for a brawl, something that shouldn't happen by itself in the animal kingdom. Hopefully, both of these deer made it out on the other side all right.
The odds of seeing one for the average person might be you see one or two in your lifetime.
Number 4, deer as white as snow. Dennis Money, president of Seneca White Deer Group, set up his trail camera recently on the former Seneca Army Depot in Seneca County, New York. He recorded several videos of your run-of-the-mill brown-colored deer as well as up-close footage of the depot's infamous white deer. Deer like this are excessively rare in the world because their coat is so antithetical to any camouflage. The only way a species like this is able to thrive is if it doesn't have any natural predators, and this is the case within the Seneca Army Depot. It was a carefully maintained depot during the time of its operation, but was allowed to fall somewhat into disrepair over the years. Despite this, many natural predators of deer haven't moved in yet, allowing the strange-colored deer to survive and even thrive despite their clear disadvantage to their brown-colored counterparts. The Seneca White Deer Group is an association focused on protecting these rare deer, and great effort is put to keeping predators out of the area, while also providing a habitat that the deer are happy to live within. If they choose to migrate somewhere else, of course, there will be very little that can be done for them. Number 3, beavers devouring trees. This may not be all that bizarre, but it's certainly an interesting thing to watch that people were never meant to be able to observe up close. Beavers are naturally skittish creatures and will flee whenever there is a creature larger than it nearby. Trail cameras, however, have allowed us to look deeply into the mannerisms and behavior of these creatures and the way they're able to almost effortlessly cut down trees with their jaws. It's bizarre to watch as their teeth cut through bark and wood without any issue, when human beings would certainly be breaking more than a few teeth if they tried the same feat. The interesting part is that beavers actually need to do this in order to remain healthy, because their teeth need to be filed down throughout the years so that they don't become too long to be usable. The trees serve as a way to do this while also providing them with building material for their homes, which many people recognize as beaver dams. They're certainly interesting little creatures, and being able to observe them on trail cameras has provided a nice look into a previously unknown world.
All I wanted to know, what is the truth? What is in this picture?
Out of the 3 photographs taken less than 2 minutes apart from one another, in that middle photograph, that large figure is there, but not in the other 2.
Number 2, Bigfoot spotted on trail camera. Throughout the United States, there have been many reports of a large ape-like creature standing on 2 legs and moving through the forests and trees with expert camouflage. These creatures have been dubbed as Bigfoot by the world at large, and people haven't really been able to figure out if it's one single creature or rather an entire unknown species.
Captured something amazing on his cell phone camera, video of Bigfoot.
Yeah, he recorded this video in McDowell County where several people reported seeing the creature over the years.
Because there's never been a specimen captured or samples taken, many believe that Bigfoot is a hoax or some sort of conspiracy. Many trail cameras, however, have seen something else to say about that.
Consensus on exactly what that is, because that was the reason for getting them here in the first place, is to find out what the truth, what is in that picture.
Because the large creature has been captured on many trail cameras throughout the country. Some are more credible than others, of course, but all of them seem to hold some semblance of truth in the fact that Bigfoot always has some similar characteristics. trail camera footage is actually some of the most reputable Bigfoot footage because it is taken without human intervention, is more difficult to tamper with, and generally the creature doesn't feel threatened because there aren't any humans nearby. This allows for a look into its life that most are generally unable to see and therefore provides the most credible evidence as to the existence of Bigfoot.
Tonight, there's barely a reason to smile these days, but for one bear, there now is.
Number 1. Hank the Tank. Hank the Tank became quite the news story a couple years back, especially if you live within the Lake Tahoe region of the United States.
Named Hank the Tank, and he's causing even more trouble in South Lake Tahoe. Over a 7-month span, a 500-pound black bear forcefully entered 28 homes and caused extensive damage.
He took over national news by storm. However, as many people actually loved the massive black bear that began invading people's homes. Hank the Tank was over 500 pounds and very much not afraid of people in the slightest, as he would break through front doors and patios in order to get to the good stuff in the kitchen. Luckily, he generally tended to do this while there wasn't anybody home, as if somebody was home, they would just scare him off. Black bears are naturally quite skittish, so seeing one as brazen as Hank is quite rare. There was actually a case in which people believed Hank had murdered somebody, but DNA evidence was eventually found at the scene, which exonerated him and spared him from the likely course of euthanasia that would have come his way if that were the case. The trail cameras in the forest nearby often catch video of Hank lumbering through the woods, living a peaceful life of luxury as he feasts on the food of people living nearby. So which of these things do you think was the most bizarre? Do you think scientists will ever fully understand these strange things caught on trail cams? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps us to understand what kind of content you enjoy, and that way we can tell what kinds of topics you're looking for next. Tap that bell icon if you're always looking to learn new things, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.